October, the time of year when you just want to pull something a little spookier from your game collection. The survival horror genre has plenty to offer with the likes of Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but for me personally, I've always preferred the Clocktower series. It's a series with a bit of a weird history, but I feel certainly belongs in your library when the chilly months roll around. Your options are a little limited, with the original being either available by emulation or having a Super Famicom, but luckily Clocktower Rewind helped make it more available to all regions. The series starts deeply rooted into the point-and-click genre, and pretty much stays that way until Clocktower 3. Honestly, a point-and-click in this day and age always feels a little dated, but I've always enjoyed the slow, methodic pacing of the system. Slowly figuring out the secrets of each room, all while under the threat of having to find a hiding space, mixes puzzle solving and survival horror perfectly. Clocktower's other challenge is dated graphics. Maybe not so much for the original, because if I did have the pleasure of playing this game at the actual time it released, I would have been absolutely terrified. The small clips of a jump scare, the bit crushed screams, all accompanied by the absolute masterpiece that is the song Don't Cry Jennifer, would be enough to have me shutting off the game. See, what Clocktower masters is the survival aspect of the genre. With Resident Evil or Silent Hill, you at least have the comfort of having some form of weapon in your hand to create an even playing field. With Clocktower, you get weapons and things to use on puzzles or immediate issues. Otherwise, well, our protag Jennifer is a little dumb. Knowing that the slow pace can become an intense chase with barely anything to defend yourself makes it a different game entirely. Clocktower, or Clocktower 2 in Japan, was a sequel to the original that used the PS1 to produce mind-boggling graphics. Honestly, this look felt so dated even for the time, and while I think the game is fun, it definitely could have pushed away from the point-and-click style for something a little more free-flowing. If this does intrigue you at all, I did review it, so check that out if you want. Despite being a sequel, I don't feel it does enough to expand upon the series, aside from the 3D upgrade if you can call it that. I don't know, I don't think it beats the style of the original, but it is still pretty fun and I did enjoy my time with it. Then you've got Clocktower 2, The Struggle Within, which provides a newer story but is still pretty held back by the point-and-click system, which should maybe have been done away at this point. Beyond that, it seems to do everything a little worse than the original. Players and reviewers alike pan this one pretty hard. Finally, there is the last addition to the series, Clocktower 3, which being developed by Sunsoft and Capcom, I felt gave it the tools to finally break out and try new things. And personally, I wish this series continued in this direction. A chilling overtone of music and sound effects that would keep you on your toes, mixed with the familiar scare of being constantly pursued while trying to figure out solutions to puzzles in the area. No longer held back by the decisions based on mouse clicks, you can freely move, which you'll need because your assailants are brutal. Where I said the original would have had me turning off the console if I had the chance to play it back then, this one did scare me into doing so when it first came out. Being older and going back to it still holds a bit of a chill down my spine, but it does certainly have its goofier mechanics, like becoming a magical girl. While not perfect, I feel this was the right decision to take Clocktower, to further expand this type of run and hide gameplay with more fluent movement, scarier villains, ways to scare the player, and overall a further look into the lore these games created. But sadly, this was the last we saw of the Clocktower franchise. And stop right there, I already hear you firing up your keyboard, getting ready to type, "Actually, the series went on to have a spiritual successor by the name of Nightcry for Windows and PS Vita." Yeah, I'm aware of it. And no, I didn't play it, but I want to. The point is, I feel like this was still a time when Clocktower was learning its potential, being refined into something that could be its own series that could hold its own with Silent Hill and Resident Evil. Hell, it predates both, but sadly, we haven't seen much from it, save for Clocktower Rewind. We do still see echoes of its formula in horror games every now and then, like the thrilling hiding mechanics in the Outlast series, and even Until Dawn feels like it has that constant eerie sensation of being watched at every moment. There are plenty of games that have gone on to rework the genre, and maybe some were even inspired by Clocktower. I still believe that Clocktower could have went further to refine itself into something that would have truly stand alone, like it did all those years ago. Capcom is involved here and there, and hopefully one day they might toss a few bucks to start something anew with how they've been doing with other franchises. Time will tell, but it's never a bad time to go back to the classics and play them all over again. I hope you have a great Halloween, and thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out this video. It seems like every time around this year I hunger for something that just feels like Clocktower. What horror games are you guys messing with? And what franchise would you like to see make a comeback? Let me know down in the comments, and leave a like if you liked the video. And consider subscribing if you're new. Keep it practical, and have a safe Halloween.